I think we end this anniversary episode with the list of things we're grateful for.
Oh, yeah. About philosophy.
About philosophy.
All right, you first.
Phails at philosophy.
What am I grateful for about philosophy? Man, I took the philosophy off of it. Now I have to think. What am I grateful for about philosophy? I think it has me thinking about whether or not something's true or not differently. Like when I churn. And sometimes even silly things. The other day we were at yoga. And the yoga instructor, I love her, Jennifer Coates. I interviewed her. She's going to be someone I interview often. She said that she heard a story about the catacombs of Edinburgh and how someone's nether regions were groped by a ghost. A guy was groped by a ghost. And I said, yeah, there's probably some spicy ladies down there. And she said, well, it could have been a spicy guy. And I was like, there's no gay ghosts. And she was like, what do you mean? Of course there's gay ghosts. And I was like, no, once we've left this mortal, the bindings over. Anyway, I went into this whole thing and we ended up having this discourse about whether or not there could be gay ghosts that happened for a while. And it was funny. I think it's hilarious. But then in my mind, it started philosophically churning on this, like, okay, if consciousness, like if they go back to, what is consciousness? It had me kind of like think about it through the lens of all of our discussions. So I say all that to say,
there are totally gay ghosts.
I don't think there's gay ghosts.
I mean, if there's no gay ghosts, then there's no spicy lady ghosts either.
Yeah, I'll agree to that. Yeah, that's true. Well, because there's no gender.
Exactly.
Anyway, we can't digress into this. What I'm thankful for is a framework for looking at questions and thinking about the world that has come through our discussions.
So that's one.
That's one. Your turn.
Oh, we're doing one each?
Yeah. Well,
or are we doing five together?
Each. Yeah.
What am I grateful for philosophy for? I think one of the things I am grateful for is over the course of really, I've studied philosophy as an adult, right? And coming into my learning, my understanding of the world, I feel like I had these two very different ways of knowing. And one was math, and one was language. And philosophy gave me a way to see how they connect.
The bridge.
Right? As a single system of knowledge. And that, in so many ways, has been a gift of a kind of discord and disharmony that was at the root of just how I related to the world.
So you're grateful for its bridging ability to bring worlds together.
Yeah, and specifically math and language as ways of knowing. Yeah.
I have a similar one for 3. I'm grateful for the social aspect of philosophy. Our discussions are the consistency of it. Getting to meet once a month and talk and spend time together. It gives us kind of like a jumping off point to relating and to interacting and adding depth to our relationship and practicing being social.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting when you look at ancient philosophers, it's so clear. In the two traditions that I'm most familiar with, which are the ancient Greek tradition and the Chinese tradition, that friendship is understood to be fundamental to philosophy.
Yeah.
And fundamental to knowing your world. Like we don't know our world in isolation. We know our world together, and we know our world together through a kind of bond that in the modern world, I think the word friendship captures best.
Well, yeah, we share our maps.
Right.
Right. There's that saying, the map is not the territory.
Right.
But when I get your map and when I validate or cross reference my map to your map, I say, oh, okay, well, maybe the bush is over there a little
Right.
bit. Maybe this thing's over there. Maybe the road's a different place.
Right. And as importantly, we recognize that we're always, even as our conversation helps us get a more common map,
Map changes.
it gives us also the experience. Oh, that's right. I'm working with a map.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I put too much emphasis on the map as the real, it gets in the way of connecting with you
Yep.
as a friend because you got a different map. And I'm not your friend if I say, dude, get on my map.
Right.
Right? I'm not your friend. And you're not my friend and I'm not your friend if I'm just like, all right, I'll throw out my friend map.
I'll go to your map.
There's a way in which friendship captures a relationship of knowing that fundamentally rejects subservience. Because a lot of our models of knowing are like, I am at the foot of the master, and they're models of subservience. And knowledge doesn't come from subservience because subservience kills curiosity, it kills exploration, it kills all the things that lead to ongoing knowledge. Friendship gives us a way to think about that.
If I am kind of the more student-oriented person in this dyad, what do you get out of it? Do you learn stuff from our discussions? Do you leave I learned something from Philip?
Yeah, 100%.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
What kind of things?
Everything.
Everything.
And like everything. Like it's just like I
So there is a sharing of maps. Because I started questioning, do I share my map with you or do I more look at your map?
Because I am trained as an academic, and academic work is done in our modern world through presentation of claims and supporting those claims in clear and direct language.
Yeah.
I speak with a confidence of understanding that is actually me kind of laying out these maps to try to get them as clear as possible. And sometimes I think people mistaken that for, this is my map, I'm the knower.
As opposed to it being
but it's
malleable.
It's always provisional to me.
Right.
And I think I know this too, because I work in an environment where I'm constantly helping all our non-faculty staff relate to faculty, and faculty tend to be trained to speak in these strong declarative sentences.
Right.
And they're just like these assholes, like they're just so stuck up. And then they get defensive, and that creates all these problems on the relationships. But at the end of the day, it's just that, no, this is how they're thinking and working. They're speaking provisionally. This is a way knowledge work is done.
Kind of like, I think doctors have to learn how to speak confidently with authority.
Right.
And that faculty probably have to have the same thing.
Right.
They have to speak with authority.
Right. And there's an authority to it. And it's also an authority that allows you to lay out the claims clearly to examine them. Right. Yeah. I mean, not that there aren't arrogant, stuck-up faculty, right?
Yeah. Just people.
Like it's and that kind of authority kind of attracts people who have that disposition anyway. So you do have that factor. But yeah, no, I mean, like when I just taught, we're at the very end. I have one more week of my ethics class with my students at Austin Peace Academy. And yeah, I've learned so much from them. Mm-hmm. And some of it's been the very unique perspective of having a philosophy class, a college philosophy class that I'm teaching in a Muslim high school with kids who are from devout Muslim families.
Yeah.
And the perspective they bring to ethics from that particular perspective.
Yeah.
So there's something enormously, but it's not, and on another level, it's not that different from my experience of how much I learned last time I taught ethics, dual credit ethics at Round Rock High School with just a general population Round Rock set of juniors and seniors, because that's usually what we have in ethics. And
okay, your fourth one.
I learned so much from them.
Fourth gratitude, because we're coming up on, we're past 12.
Yeah, we're good. That. I think I am grateful for philosophy giving me a opportunity in my life where I got to see and get to see so many creative minds because I became like my status as a philosopher is as a philosophy teacher,
Yeah.
right? I'm not a research philosopher. I'm not someone who sits there and tries to write big philosophy books and
Right.
stuff like that. I more than anything else, yeah, I'm grateful that it has given me a life where I've gotten to spend so much time seeing so many minds, developing minds, not just young developing minds in 50-year-olds because they're like, hey, what's this philosophy stuff, right? To be there to witness that, to be there to see other human beings understand what it is, not just to know and to try to get better at understanding how we know things, which is at the root what it is for me. Like understanding how do we know things, whether those are moral things or things about reality or things about analytics, like, and that refinement of that comes with it. But at the heart of it, to fall in love with that, to learn how much it is that knowing is an act of love, that knowing is an act of union with the object of knowledge, right? And that, like, to a certain extent, even when you're doing something really analytic like geometry, what you're doing is engaging in an act of love where you open yourself to the reality of what a perfect circle is, the reality of what the Pythagorean theorem is, and it feels like love, right?
Yeah.
It is love. And I get to see that happen. I get to see people fall in love with that moment of understanding and that experience of connecting to the universe
Yeah.
and loving the world at a different level. That's incredible. That's been rich for me.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one for me would be similar to that in being kind of almost a whetstone for my brain.
100%.
Something that allows my brain to hurt a little bit and to not understand and then to overcome not understanding, whether it's when we're having the discussion or whether when I'm editing the discussion, I'm like, oh, that's what it means. And then like later on, oh, that's what it means. Just being able to comprehend, much like when I was in college at music school, comprehending Thelonious Monk, the jazz pianist, that I thought, oh, that's herky jerky, and that doesn't make any sense. The way he's placing the way he would place the notes, it just felt wrong.
Right.
But my brain just wasn't advanced enough to understand how right it was.
Right.
And that's what happens with philosophy for me, like understanding concepts, my brain hurting, and then thinking like, okay, now this makes sense more. The world gets bigger.
Yeah, no, I'm with you with that. That is the sweetness. That is the, like, I mean, it hurts at times.
It hurts.
Right.
You got to read the sentence 4 or 5 times.
It's humbling.
Yeah.
And it also, that hurt, that humble, that refines the analytic engine so that you find you've got a sharpness
Yeah.
that you didn't have before. You have an insight that you didn't see before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's learning.
Any other gratitudes? How's that? That's been 5.
And that was 5.